Have you ever come across a prospect, someone in your audience, ideal kind of customer, and at the beginning of the conversation, they were pretty skeptical, weren't really that interested in what it is you were talking about, maybe weren't even that aware of the problems that they had in the first place. And yet, through a conversation, through asking good questions over the course of could have been over an hour, a couple of hours, over a glass of wine, over a dinner, whatever it may be, you're able to start to help unfurl and unravel those challenges and help them connect to the implications of that and see the impact, more deeply understand the pain points, understand the destination of where they're trying to get to and what that could look like and what's possible for them. Show them that there's a methodology, there's a set of principles they can follow, a way to be able to bridge from undesirable reality to highly desirable future reality. And in the course of that conversation, have you ever been able to turn that person from skeptical, not that interested, to yes, very interested? And so I'd love you to think about, well, what is thought leadership? Thought leadership is being able to move your market through ideas from a skeptical no to a very interested yes. And so that is thought leadership. The reality is, though, is that for some of us, and as we go on this KPI journey, at the moment, you're just not as well packaged a thought leader as you could be. The IP's all there, but it just hasn't been packaged up well. And so imagine that, hey, I'm a thought leader, I'm just a badly packaged one. And so we're going on a journey to package it up more powerfully. And when we package it up and get it out to the world, that's where it really starts to, go out and kind of create the outcome of other people recognizing us and being positioned as that thought leader. Now, where does this fit into the sales process? Because I know thought leadership is one kind of goal, but like to what end? And the answer is, of course, we want it to drive more business. And so imagine that really what the sales process is just a series of well-constructed ideas or light bulb moments that need to happen for your prospect to go from a no to a yes. And so the thought leadership piece is we want to package up, A, identify those ideas, and B, package them up into really great stories and ways to explain it and communicate it so that we could walk someone through a more predictable sequence of those ideas that bridges them from a no to a yes. Obviously, a book is a very powerful way to do that, but we can do that through so many different content mediums. So another way to think about it, it's like there's a staircase. We're taking our market from a not that interested to a very interested. There's a series of little light bulb moments that have to happen along the way, some paradigm shifts. And the concept canvas that we're going to go through today is about developing each of those ideas into something that becomes more of a paradigm shift for someone. So we start by ideating, what are key ideas or light bulb moments that need to happen, for a prospect to sort of believe what we believe. So as an example, one of the key ideas that you would have come across in your journey with us is like every industry revolves around an inner circle of people that are seen, known, and recognized as the key people of influence. Every industry is made up of newbies, people who are brand new, excited, but don't have any skills, worker bees, great technicians, but they're a dime a dozen, just like everyone, the vast majority of the industry. And then there's this inner circle, the people who've built a brand around their personal reputation and skill set and experience, etc. That's who you want to be because all the lion's share of the opportunities goes to them. So there's a whole narrative, there's a whole story that we can unpack around that. The entrepreneur journey is more predictable than you think. Income follows assets, all these kind of maxims that you've heard from us before. So each of these are kind of key light bulb moments that if you were to self-reflect, needed to happen or you needed to kind of go through in the course of becoming really indoctrinated in, of all the things I could do in my business, becoming a key person of influence is now a high priority because I can see the value and I can see the importance of being that person in my industry. And so that's the goal I have for you, with your audience, as you kind of take them through that journey of those key little light bulb moments. So we're going to use the idea generator to come up with some ideas today, and then we're going to end up picking an idea and really developing it with this concept canvas. So I mentioned earlier on, where does this fit in the roadmap? If you're new to KPI, you might have kind of loosely heard us talk about this idea of 7-11-4. So both research and our experience with thousands of businesses kind of indicates that people need to spend about 7 hours across 11 or more interactions in 4 or more locations, getting to know, like, and trust you. Enough to want to do business with you to pay a high ticket price for whatever product or service you've got. And so that comes in the form of course, books and blogs and graphics and podcast interviews and webinars and video and so on and so forth. But imagine we're taking people on this little 7-11-4 journey of, over the course of touch points through emails, interactions, by the way, touch points. So imagine you watch a video, that's a touch point. Listen to a podcast, that's a touch point. Watch something on YouTube, that's a location. Listen to a podcast on Spotify, that's a different location. Look at an email in your inbox, that's a different location. So this 7-11-4 principle is people are kind of bouncing through a little pinball machine of your content ecosystem, and they're going from, no, not that interested, to yes, highly interested on the other side. And the world piece just means in the process of engaging with your brand, we want them to watch, read, listen, and do. Again, kind of catering to all the different personality profiles and types that are out there. So 7-11-4 world by that idea, that concept. So the concept canvas is where we're going to do a bit of ideation. We're going to pick an idea and we're going to develop it into something more substantial. And hopefully this becomes the basis of a little packet of IP. And there's probably going to be maybe, let's say, half a dozen to a dozen key ideas that if we were to slow you down and reflect on from, someone who's a bit skeptical, not that interested, if I took them on a journey over the course of the next 12 months and I was to introduce them to 5 to 12 kind of paradigm shifts of ideas. Income follows assets. The entrepreneur journey is more predictable than you think. There are 5 Ps of becoming a key person of influence, those kind of things. What would be those light bulb moments to take them from, skeptical no to yes, very interested? And today we're going to do that for one of those ideas, but you'll have the framework to keep going with it. And most importantly, what I care more about for everybody is, rather than have to be on a constant content hamster wheel of always putting out new stuff, that's part of the journey of course, growing your business and building a profile in your industry. But the 7-11-4 world idea is really about kind of surgically and more precisely thinking about, okay, what would the ideal priming journey look like to prime and pre-sell our prospects if I could just design the most perfect journey? Because from the time you generate a lead to putting them through some automated email nurture and things like that in a CRM, you can take them along that journey. One of those emails might send them off to a video is on the YouTube channel. Another email might send them off to a podcast that you guested in. Another email sends it off to an article that's one of those key ideas that have been unpacked, the scorecard, etc., etc. So to a degree, we can take them on a more deliberate, thoughtfully designed journey. And if that's in place, if that kind of baseline architecture is there, then we know that from the time we generate a lead, we've got a great automation sequence that's in the background, just nurturing people through what we feel is the ideal sequence of ideas. And then any content you do put out on top of that, it's kind of like the icing on the cake. It all just adds to the tapestry of your brand and profile as the KPI, but you've got that sequence of ideas really working hard for you in the background.